Generally, as a people, we want to feel like we belong somewhere, we belong with someone, we belong with and to something. I get it. I get the sense of community and wanting to belong and being for something, in favor of something, celebrating it. And I'm thinking that the problem started when, if I'm looking at it, back then, ancient times, BC, Jesus Christ, the whole thing, we were introduced to food, good foods. We were given agriculture to sustain ourselves. Yeah, so we've been given agriculture to sustain ourselves. We were introduced to alcohol, smoking as a result. So in ancient times, you know, to celebrate, you know, animals were slaughtered, killed in order to feast. Candles were burned to light up spaces, to draw in whatever energy needed to be drawn in for whatever the celebration is. So man would spend time having a relationship. So man would spend time with God and having a relationship with God and creation. And to celebrate, we would feast and drink. So in this new world, we have stopped worshipping and developing a relationship with the Creator and started worshipping alcohol and food. So we eat more, we drink more, and worship less. In whatever religion, there's a specific day designated to worship, whereas history teaches us that every day was worship, working with the Creator to sustain creation. So, because we are now in an age and an era where we celebrate more than we worship, of course, there's a disconnect between spirituality and celebration. If we look at it, like we really spend a lot more time eating and drinking than we do developing a relationship with the Creator. So essentially, what we've done is that we're taking from the earth and not sustaining it. So we build and build and build because development is good, necessary, but there's a way in order to sustain life. And we've lost that. We worship our friendships and partners and work, money, more than we do creation. The way to create a balance there is to see God in everything. If we do that, then we're constantly in worship you see God in everything, you're going to want to nourish God's creation. We would want to give back to the earth as much as it gives to us. And that's where we need to find ourselves. This new age that is upon us is for the spiritual. And to be frank, it's always been for the spiritual. So the generations that we are raising now, they have all the tools and the resources to be free. And from my observation, that freedom has led them to want to step into their higher selves. And it's a good age. You know, it's a good age. Now, now, as a result of this, I think I touched on how celibacy is not a method of cleanliness. Celibacy has got nothing to do with cleanliness. Now, we all understand that everything is spiritual. Every single thing is spiritual. Now, if you understand that, then you'll know that the act of sexual intercourse is spiritual. Sex was designed to create. It was designed for creation, procreation. So we've lost that meaning and found pleasure in having sex without creating. And we further develop, and there are now methods to prevent creation. Which is all good and well because we have since found pleasure in a lot of things. And we've removed the spirituality from them. Because the way I see it, one should look at sex as food, water, a basic need. Because when you're hungry, you the more or less know what to eat, what you're gonna eat, what you wanna eat, how much of it you want to eat, when you want to eat. The same way it should be with sex. You should know when to have sex, how to have sex, with whom, and know why you're having sex. Celibacy takes away from the spirituality in sexual intercourse. Celibacy says, I am depriving my body of a basic need so that I can become more, which is stupid to me. Stupid. It doesn't make sense to me. Celibacy is, I believe, the highest restriction of man over and above religion, belief. Celibacy has become this glorified thing that is said to lead you to a higher place. Once you become celibate, you stop becoming who you're meant to be. That's my theory. And this is coming from having been celibate and then developing this very high sex drive and using it to really just find pleasure in the act. And then coming back to the silence. Be mindful of the fact that once you become celibate, you have taken a fundamental piece away from yourself to satisfy the God that is already within you. God is not angry. God is not angry. It's not jealous. God is not, God is not crazy, guys. Like, God is not crazy. He's not this person that's just going to murder people. The Creator has given us the earth to sustain it so that it may feed us and we may be sustained. And the law that comes with sustainability is that it has to happen in retrospect. What happens on the left should naturally happen on the right. So, also the idea of being God-fearing. God is not angry. God is not out to get anyone. No. There are laws and there are rules and there is consequence. And everything that you do, say, how you live is got a karma. That's the bottom line. But God is not sitting there like, yeah, today. No. No. Pray about the true meaning of things, what they mean to you, as opposed to how they are defined. And you are more likely to be in the right path of living a godlike life if you know the laws of life. And they are pretty simple. But we drive ourselves crazy with madness, complete madness, trying to prove worth to man, as opposed to just being man. So celibacy is seen as this impure act. And no, so sex is seen as this impure act. And I don't know who said that it was impure, because it's a natural way of life. And from where I stand, I don't think that there's anything that is impure. because it's God's creation. Hey, sometimes I think that animals are more conscious than we are. Yeah. Animals understand the act of sharing energy more than we do. We have seen it as this vile thing. So we lose ourselves. Like, come back, like, come back. Go back to the creator and seek nourishment and nourish back. Identify yourself with the truth of things and not the cultivation of the truth of things.